Welcome to another episode of the Goddess Sugar Podcast. I trust that you are arriving in gratitude, love, and all the magic the universe has to offer because you are very much magical. A gentle reminder before we dive in, everything that I speak about on my podcast comes from my personal truth, experiences, and journey. Take what resonates with your spirit and leave what doesn't. This is a space for exploration and not perfection. Trust your own path and let's walk this magical journey together. Before any episode, I think it's important for me to acknowledge the people and the forces that have brought me here today. Thank you to my divine pantheon for trusting me with your ancestral wisdom. Thank you to Spirit for being all things. Thank you to the universe for holding the cosmic beauty of our infinity. Thank you to my ancestors who walked before me. Thank you to my sacred guides for holding my hand every step of the way. Thank you to my family, friends, mentors, teachers, and the collective who support me in this physical realm. And thank you to myself for daring to live as the goddess that I am. Hello, Miss City. What is going on? Okay, it's been a little minute. I missed y'all. I hope you missed me too. I'm so excited about this episode because, I feel like it's a really good topic and I really feel like it's going to give you a good perspective. Okay, so First off, today we're wearing Oud Mood by Latifah. Okay. It's a very sensual, you know what I'm saying, type of scent. It's definitely very strong, but I really like it. We got the smoke, okay? We got the smoke, and you know how we do. I already shuffled these cards per usual. And what is the card on the top? What do I think it is? What do you think it is? Oh, I am the blueprint for success. So let's keep it 100. There are going to be plenty of times in your life that you get to and you're going to feel like everything's falling apart. But I'm here to tell you, even though during those times it feels messy, it's not pretty, it's not cute, it's actually a very great thing. Let me tell you why. During a collapse, you're going to question everything. You're probably going to question your own existence, okay? But all that chaos that you're feeling is the bridge to exactly where you want to be. Today, we're going to be talking about embracing the collapse, finding peace in the chaos, trusting the dismantling, and stepping into the new you with unshakable faith. So, as I was saying, the collapse, okay, look, I can't even lie to y'all. And I know y'all probably have people in your life like this, but the thing is, even though I'm always smiling, I have my times too where everything is collapsing, where I be like, what the actual F is going on? Excuse me, I be calling the universe customer support, excuse me, what is going on in my human experience? That's exactly how it be for me sometimes. So first things first, when everything is feeling like it's collapsing, I want to tell you, it's not the end of the world. The universe is simply making space for what you've been asking for. And the wild thing is that when we are manifesting, when we are, putting our desires out into the universe, right? Most of the time you're just thinking about this desire, right? And you're feeling into that feeling of having it, being it. And while that is an important part of manifestation, a lot of people forget to really think about, okay, what is this process going to look like? What may it take for me to get to this new reality that I am trying to enter, right? And the thing is that we forget, in order to come into something new, in order to hold new blessings, you have to release a lot, you have to shed a lot. And essentially your old reality has to what? It has to collapse, right? It has to end. It has to close. And the thing is, look, I do it too. Literally, I'll be like, hold on. I was asking the universe for this. I'm trying to get this hold up. And it's looking real messy. What is this? This is not what I asked for. This is a mess. But I had to come to the realization that, baby, it is what you asked for. But before that comes into play, this right here, this version of you, this version of your reality, these old thinking patterns, they have to go. Or, people that may be a part of your current reality that are not going to the next level with you, they also have to be released. And we talked about this in the previous episode about letting go of things and people that are no longer aligned. Well, the thing is, coming into this concept of your reality and embracing the collapse, everything seems chaotic. Everything seems like it's being thrown at you. So During this collapse, you are also being tested to see if you're going to fold, because it's easy to ask, I want this new thing. I want this new house. Whatever you're asking for, right? It's easy to say that, but you don't understand that there's a process into receiving those things. And also, while I'm saying this, there is a balance in embracing the collapse, but you do not have to glorify the struggle. Okay, there's a nice balance between that. When it comes to embracing your collapse, don't resist it, but also you do not have to glorify the hard times, because also I think sometimes we really get caught up in glorifying the struggle. And while parts of your human experience will be challenging, I will say that pain and struggle is not necessary for you to receive. Now, I will say, and this is just my personal opinion, I think a lot of unnecessary pain and struggle comes in when we resist the collapsing of our old reality or of our old selves. While, our spirit team is like, look, okay, we're trying to update you. We're trying to update your reality. And me, in my human experience, in my human mind, I'm resisting it. I'm like, no, no, no. I don't want to do that. That seems scary. That seems like too much, right? So now there's this resistance being created, and that's where I feel like a lot of unnecessary pain and struggle comes in, because it's like, imagine how smoother things will go if you didn't resist it. You know what I mean? And as I said before, whatever current timeline you're on, if you're trying to jump quantum leap timelines, okay, this old timeline has to dissolve first. That's what people miss about the process. Understanding that in order for you to be where you're trying to be, there has to be some dissolving first. There has to be an end beginning, right? So death and rebirth, it's a constant cycle. So as you're being reborn, something else has to die. If you want to be, for example, reborn, right, into this very confident being, this being that knows themselves, that's very connected, right? That part of you that may be like insecure or not so confident, that version of you has to die. So it is the same with your reality. And that's why it seems like everything is being thrown at you. It seems like everything is going wrong. But the thing is, when it seems like everything is going wrong, no, spirit and your divine team are just tearing things down so something new can be built. And a way that I like to remember this, I think about a building, right? Just picture an old building that it's been there for decades, maybe centuries, okay? It's been standing, it's been doing its job, you know what I mean? And then imagine one day, or over several days, whatever, one day, whatever, it collapses, right? Now, us being who we are, we would see that and be like, oh my God, that is so devastating. What is going on, right? People would try to, save the building. I don't know. It's just a catastrophe, right? And I mean, if I imagine a building like falling in front of my face, like I would just be in shock. But think about, as that building collapses, look, the old bricks, the old wallpaper, everything old in there is collapsing with it, right? And so again, it can feel devastating. There's probably grief in that building falling. But what is happening? Everything is collapsing and then rubble is left, but then that's going to be cleaned up and a new building is going to be put in place. A skyscraper, okay? We trying to hold on to this rinky-dink building, but spirit is trying to build a skyscraper. That's why I had to come down. And I also want to bring in the balance that it is okay to feel your feelings, because I've done this plenty of times. I've reinvented myself plenty of times. I've quantum leap plenty of times. And so each time, yes, it does get easier. I will tell you that. But also there's always some grief in it. Why? Because whatever reality you're in, wherever you're at, right? That is the narrative that you set for yourself. That is the narrative you've been playing in your head this whole time. That's the narrative you've been telling other people. But then when your soul is saying it's time for us to move on, it's time for us to shift, right? It's time for us to jump again. We got to leap again, right? There is some grief in that. Now, you may ask, why is there some grief? If I'm trying to do something big or trying to do something new, like why would I be grieving this? Even though your current self or your current reality may no longer resonate with you. You may be like, look, I'm ready to be done, right? There's still grief in basically dissolving that narrative that you've been attached to for a while, and then basically telling yourself, okay, now it's time to write a new one. That's a little scary. And sometimes grief and fear, they pair real well together, okay? There's grief in letting go of the old, because essentially the dissolving of this reality, the collapsing of your reality and everything that is just not going right and nothing seems like it's aligning. There may be some grief and uncertainty going into writing this new narrative for yourself. There's uncertainty in that. Sometimes it may feel like you're being asked to hold spirit by the hand, but you're walking through a lot of fog. But spirit is telling you, I got it. Your higher self is telling you, we got it. But you're like, it's all this fog. What do you mean we got it? I totally get what that feels like. I know for me, there was a time in my life recently where when I tell you everything seemed to not be aligning. And I started to really think to myself, did I do something wrong? Like, is there something that I did that I don't remember? Because why is all this happening? But then I had to sit and have a real extreme conversation with spirit. And then I was reminded that no, Zipporah, it's not that you did anything wrong. You've done everything right. I don't need you to do anything else. I just need you to trust me with this collapsing, because we will put our desire out there. Hey, I want to do this. You know, I want to have this, right? But also that new reality where you have that thing or you're doing this particular thing in your career, whatever it is going to require an updated version of you. You're going to have to go through your own death to be reborn, to be the version of you that can hold that reality. You have to have space to hold and multiply it. And if you're given something, but it's too heavy to hold, you're going to drop it, right? You're going to drop it. And you do not want that. And so like I was saying, you have to feel all your feelings through this collapse. If you feel the sadness, the fear, the uncertainty, the grief, the happiness, the excitement, that is all okay. You have to feel everything. Your emotions are your powerhouse. When you actually decide, I'm not going to resist what I'm feeling, I'm just going to put my shades on and witness the collapse. And I'm going to feel everything I'm going to feel, because I understand that the skyscraper is coming. It's bigger, it's better, because this building, it did its job. We have to also be grateful and thankful for the version of us and this version of our reality that we're in, because eventually it does become of the past, because we eventually move on. That's what evolution is about. You're continuously evolving. You're continuously leaping into the next thing. And it's such a beautiful process. Something I heard, I forgot which Madea movie it was in, but Tyler Perry, his character had said, sometimes we try to keep up the things that God is trying to tear down. And that was very true. That was very true, because that's the resistance. And the more you resist, the harder it is. Understand that this collapse is not by random. It is very orchestrated, okay? It's just like a hurricane. Just think about a rainstorm. The clouds are gray, it's raining, it's wet. But do you know what comes after the rain? You know what comes after the storm? The rainbow, right? I love to think about that. There was times where I was in college down in Skiki. It would be raining, it would be cloudy and dark. And then literally after that's passed, I would come outside and see the most beautiful rainbow. But you have to remember what had to come before that rainbow, that storm, right? So that is something to think about. Before your new reality can anchor in, this one has got to see its way out, okay? And I don't know if you've ever felt this before, but I know for me, when I experience these times of my reality collapsing and everything's going wrong, I think the more that it happens and the more that I quantum leap, right? That I make these shifts in my life, even though everything on paper is like, what the actual fuck is going on? I have this very grounded sense of calm. And the thing is, if you're feeling that, don't be scared. I used to be scared of that feeling. I used to be like, Zipporah, why are you so calm right now? Like, do you not see what's going on? Do you not see your life on paper right now? And do you know what that is? That's your higher self. So when you feel all of this calm during the storm, during the collapse, that is your higher self telling you, you good. Listen to that. That's nothing to be scared of. I'm telling you from experience, do not be scared of that. Because when you're so in tune with self, your communication with higher self is in there. And so that calm is like, yo, I know on the outside, what do you see, right? You're seeing with the physical eye. Yes, everything is storming, everything is collapsing, but inside, how does it feel? And that's the thing you have to be able to tap into. That is your channel. That intuition is your communication line with your higher self. It is your communication line with the universe, with God, spirit, however you want to name it. and they're telling you, yourself is telling you everything is good. You know why? Because your higher self already knows the blueprint. It already knows how this ends up for you. That's why you can be so calm during the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That's how you can be so calm during the storm, because your higher self knows, baby, look, this is temporary right here. You good. Sometimes, I don't know about y'all, but I will find myself like crying, like bawling my eyes out. And then I have like this reboot and I just get extremely calm. And I'm like, girl, why are you crying? Not like in a way that's like invalidating to myself. You still deserve to cry. But I'm saying, it's like I just get this feeling of calm that it's like, hold on, why are you crashing out right now? You're good. And the thing is, I've always been good every single time. Every single time, after everything kind of like settled itself, I'll look back and be like, girl, you was crashing out for nothing. And so with this new reality, think of it as a open door. You know, this door is opening for you. There's new things, new levels, all it is, all of that, the glitz, the glance, but remember, the door behind you, the reality that you're coming from, has to be closed first before we walk through. Because also, I like to think about these as portals. So old reality's here, I'm here in the transition, and new reality's here. So it's like, I gotta close this first. Right? So I'm in this transition. When I was talking about feeling your feelings, so when you're in the process of your reality collapsing, and while you're in the process of quantum leaping, there are going to be many days where you're in the middle like this. So there's going to be times that you try to stay over here into that old reality or current reality that you're in, because it feels safe, right? It feels extremely safe, and you're used to this right here. But then there's going to be times where you lean more over here. You're like, hold on, but my soul is feeling called over here. I'm feeling more aligned over here. Allow that to happen. Do not be hard on yourself. You have to kind of have those times where you're going back and forth, you know, because your soul is like, you know what I'm saying? It's like a seesaw. It's like, where do you want to go? What are we doing? Are we staying here? We going here? We stay here? We go here? Like, you know what I'm saying? So allow yourself to go through that process. You're in the transition and it's okay. You're in the middle and it's okay. Collapse is a part of your manifestations coming into fruition. When it comes to manifesting, when it comes to moving up in your life, it is a process, because you're being stripped of this old version of yourself, of this old reality that has to be stripped down so you can go into this new reality renewed, rejuvenated, all the above. Because as you are moving into your new reality, you have outgrown certain mindsets, certain environments, certain people, certain things. I used to question, I'm like, why? God, like, why does it have to be like this? Like, why does it have to be so messy? Well, you know, why does it have to hurt? Like, why all this, right? Why all this? But then I started to realize that the more you do this, the more you grow the resilience and the less resistant you become to further collapsings and further quantum leapings. You know what I mean? Like, when I was really getting started with my spiritual journey, like, I really used to resist it. Like, I'm like, hold on, I know I asked for this, but why this? Like, what are we doing? Because I didn't understand it fully. When health issues start coming up, your money ain't right, you know what I'm saying? You may be having issues in your relationships, friendships, things going on with family, things going on at the job, anything you can think of. Life is just like boom, 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 boom. But that's the thing, life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. So even in the collapsing, even in the letting go, that is happening for you. Everything is being cleared. Space is being made for these new blessings to enter, because they want to be held. So that relationship you want to be in, that career move you're trying to make, that money you trying to hold in your bank account, you have to have space to hold it. Some shit got to be let go. Okay? Got to be let go. I used to wonder, like, why, like, what is the point in this? It's only a part of your testimony, because I don't know how many times I look back at collapsings I went through or challenging times that I went through. And I'm like, damn, you dangerous. Like, you really went through that. Not glorifying it, not saying I want to do this again, but I'm saying when you really can realize your own resilience and your own strength, and most of all, your own faith. Because I'm telling you, Embracing the collapsing of your reality where everything is going wrong is not the easiest thing to do. It will get you to a point where you start questioning yourself. It's easy to have faith when you know everything is going to work out, where you have evidence, physical proof. You can see it with your eye. Oh, everything's going to work out. Oh, the money's there. Oh, this is fine. But true faith is when you have absolutely no proof at all that things are going to work out the way that you wanted them to work out or how you were thinking they were going to work out. True faith is maybe wanting something at a certain time and it doesn't happen in your timing, but you have so much faith in your vision and what is for you that you're like, you know what? Even though it didn't happen in this time, I know it's for me. So I know that it will happen in due divine time. That is the beautiful thing about embracing the collapse. And the thing is, I think I've gotten to a point, and maybe you've gotten to this point too, where it's like now when things start looking a little, I get a little excited because I'm like, oh, something in store for me. Universe got something better for me because this right here is starting to die. It's starting to release itself. So it's so much beauty in the concept of death and rebirth. A lot of people, when they hear death, you think of something so bad and, horrible. And don't get me wrong, there is grief in death. But it's also beautiful because that means something is being reborn because everything's a circle. I like to think of going just to a plant analogy because I'm a plant girly. When a plant dies, then it decomposes, and then it feeds the soil for the next plants to come in, and to grow. So it's still living. It's just in a different form. That's how I really like to think about it. When I think about me and my life, and maybe this will help you as well. You are going through a death, right? Your reality is going through a death, a collapsing, and it's going to be reborn into something new, into something greater, bigger, and better. Okay? Because you deserve that. The next time you find yourself in a space where it's like everything's collapsing, everything's going wrong, and I don't know what the F to do not resist the collapse. Look, if it were me, I'll put my shades on. We about to watch these bricks fall, these walls come down, because how can I be upset when this is what I asked for? You know what I'm saying? How can I sit here and talk to spirit and I'm talking to my divine pantheon? I'm like, look, I want to be a better woman. I want to be this. I want to be that. Okay. Well, this version of you has to die first so you can become her. So when I'm presented with that opportunity, let me not resist it. Let me embrace it with all of my feelings. Because I'm telling you, when you don't resist it, it's going to come much smoother. And that's not just with this concept. This is with anything in life, honey. Okay? The less you resist, the easier things are going to flow to you. Period. When you resist things, when you try to resist your manifestations, when you try to resist that new reality that's making you uncomfortable, it feels harder. And you make it harder on yourself. You create more pain and suffering for no reason. I know it feels hard. I know it feels like, maybe no one understands because everything is just happening at one time. Even through this collapse, you are protected and you are safe. When you put your desires out there, your divine team, left, right, up, down, all that, they like, okay, we got you. This is how this can happen. This is the route we can take. So understand that you are not alone in this. And this is going to be a common theme in everything that I talk about, surrendering and knowing that you're not alone. And I keep saying this because, again, it's something that I wish that I knew early on in my spiritual journey, that you are really held. There are forces, divine forces that we don't necessarily see, but we feel, that we're tapped into, that are holding us in each step of our lives, even in the dismantling, even in the collapsing, okay, even in the BS, we are held. I think when you learn to embrace the collapse, it also adds to your experience, it adds and enriches your human experience. A lot of people, when they hear spirituality, when you're seeing it, right, you think it's all butterflies, rainbows, and things. And don't get me wrong, that's a part of it. That's a part of it, baby. But it's a lot of shedding. It's a lot of letting go. It's a lot of unconditioning. It's a lot of collapsing. Okay, because we've been conditioned too well. A little too well, you know what I mean? So there's certain things that have to come down. We have to be stripped of as we are evolving. And so during your transformation, you're going to have periods of doing this. This is not just a one-time thing. This is going to continuously happen. But the thing is, it gets easier each time. And the thing is, when you don't look at it as, oh my God, life is happening to me and everything's going wrong and I've done something wrong. Oh my God, someone put a hex on me. It's none of that, honey. I promise you, it's none of that. It's collapsing because you're evolving. So it has to die. You have to let it go. Period. I love gaining this experience every time because it has grown my resilience. So every time it comes up, I'm like, oh, I'm good. That's what I was talking about when it comes to that calm, right? Because before I used to panic the fuck out. Like when I tell you crash the fuck out when something would go wrong, like literally, yo. But now I've gotten to a point in my life where it's like if something unexpected happens or something just doesn't go right, I'm like, ooh, I was being protected for something, or ooh, it's just something better. When you just have so much confidence in your journey like that, I'm telling you, experience is the most potent teacher. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's the most potent teacher. Experience. You just have to feel all this out. You gotta feel it. You have to experience it. You have to go through it yourself. And that's why I say I just live my spirituality. It's not something I practice. It's not something that I just put on for show. Everything that I tell y'all, everything that I'm saying, I've lived it, okay? Like I'm telling you, I've lived it. That's why I can say it with so much confidence. And that's why I'm bringing it to you. Because like I said, I'm like, dang, it's some stuff that I wish I would have known earlier in my journey. But then again, it worked out that I didn't know those things because I had to go through my own experience to know these things. So that's why it's like, either way, it's a win-win situation. Either way, it works out for you. You really got to embed that in your head. Either way, it works out for you. Period. So remember, even when it feels like everything is falling apart, everything is really falling in place. The collapse is the cleanup before the glow up. Trust the dismantling. Let all the outdated shit go and know that a new foundation is being built for you that is unshakable. You are not only surviving the storm, you are becoming the calm within it. Until next time, walk in your power and continue evolving. Stay calm. And remember, even when life tries to throw salt in your sugar, be a goddess anyway. Peace and blessings. Much love. Ciao, ciao. Ashe. Until next time, love. XOXO.